first introduce myself in case you've never been here. My name's Andrea. I have been journaling for over 30 years and have been journaling daily, if not multiple times a day, since about 2016. And it has been my number one go-to for really learning how to understand my emotions, my limiting beliefs, problem solve, you name it, I cover it in journaling. And so what I do on my Journal With Me sessions here is I take a journal prompt that comes directly from my journal. So this is the current journal I'm working on. I will either go back into old journals and pull journal prompts, or I will pull something that I'm working on today. And today's journal prompt comes from something I'm literally working on today. And I think we all kind of do this. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to give you the journal prompt. I'm going to talk a little bit about it and how to approach writing on it. And then I'm going to turn on some music and give us 10 minutes to journal. And from that, then I will stick around and answer questions if anybody has any, and that's what we do. These are then available once they're done processing on my channel page. So if you want to come back to this one and do it as many times as you want, you can. And I do put timestamps in them so you can jump right into the journal section if you already have the prompt and are ready to go. So let's go ahead and get into our prompt. So today's topic is self-love. And I think self-love is one of those things we all come back to continually. We're all on this journey of learning how to love ourselves more. If you're familiar with any of my teachings, you've probably heard me say, I don't like the way self-love is traditionally taught. From my experience, self-love isn't a checklist of do X, Y, and Z, and you're going to love yourself. It is more about the journey to wholeness and emotional healing allows you to love yourself. So I guess the to-do list is actually to do the emotional healing work necessary. And as you do that, you build confidence. As you build confidence, you begin to love and like yourself. But that doesn't mean that we don't address self-love issues during that process. And that's what we're going to do today. So today's prompt is, how do I need to show myself love today? Now, this can be a straightforward self-care type question, but I want you to expand beyond that self-care definition and really, really dig into that. So how do you do that? How do you dig into what can be a very surface question? So what I would first recommend is look for areas that you can take some sort of an action to help move you forward. So an example might be is if you are working on an emotional healing issue that has to do with, like, let's say relationships, and you have a very toxic friend, and it's not that you don't want to be around them, but you need them to stop gossiping. Well, maybe your self-love today is finally reaching out to them and saying, hey, I want to continue to do stuff with you, but we're not going to gossip. So it can be that the self-love action is more about what you need to do to move yourself forward. Maybe the self-love action is creating a plan to get out of your bad job. Now, another way that you can approach this, and this was actually the way that I've been going at it currently, is ask yourself, it's a totally another journal prompt, but it accomplishes the same thing. Ask yourself, what am I looking for from others that I should be giving myself? So if you were in a relationship because you need something from that person, ask yourself how you can give it to you, because our relationships aren't whole and complete until we are whole and complete. And so if you are anticipating something from a relationship, you need to first give it to yourself. So you can go with the prompt as it is, or you can go with, what am I looking for from others that I can give myself? So if there's no immediate questions, I'm going to go ahead and start our music so we can journal. Wait a quick second. All right, I am going to start the music so we can journal. And I am using Chris Collins today. I license his music for all of my meditations and work, and he is here on YouTube. I put the link in the comments when we're done in case you want to go check out his other music. All right, let's journal. Okay, that was 10 minutes. So, did anybody have any insights, questions, anything like that? While I'm waiting to see if somebody does have questions, I want to talk about a couple of things that came up in my journaling. It actually came up with another journal prompt. I've gotten to the point where I ask enough questions in my journaling that it automatically creates journal prompts. And so that is one way for you to go deeper into journaling, is to just keep asking yourself questions. So the question that came up is, how can I show myself love to deal with, and then fill in the blank of whatever issue you're dealing with. And that came up because I have a very specific issue that I need to show myself more love around, and I needed to figure out how to show it with that one specific issue. So just a slight variation on the journal prompts that I gave at the very beginning. But sometimes with journal prompts, that slight variation, that twist in asking it, triggers the information that you need. The value is all in the question, and that the question fits you. It's not that any of these are better or worse, period. It's more about your language, your knowledge, and what is good for you. So our language is just something we all agree upon, and we all have slight different interpretations of it. So slightly different journal prompts for the exact same thing can bring out different things for different people. So that was the other one. And then the other thing that I want to quickly touch on is, when you're journaling, you might not get the full answer at once. You might not even get an answer. You might get really frustrated. But what you're doing here by asking the question and starting the process is opening yourself up to allow more information in. So it's very common, especially with this topic, that as you go through your day or maybe do another journal session, more and more information starts to come out. So just trust that the information is going to come to you exactly when you need it. So if you want more self-love journal prompts, I have a pre-recorded video on my channel about compassion. Compassion and self-love are very tied together. So I will put a link in the comments if you want to access that. It actually has multiple prompts, so it kind of walks you through a process. And I will try and link it also once it's actually done being processed. And it doesn't look like we have questions. So I thank you guys so much for being here. If you come up with questions later, obviously drop them in the comments. I get back to just about everybody when I have a chance. And if you liked it, I'd so appreciate it if you click like. And if you subscribe, you'll be notified when I do schedule these. I'm going to try and do them at least once a week so that you can get into a regular journal practice. And I did create a playlist of all my past live journaling, so you can go grab whichever one fits your needs best. Thank you guys so much for being with me today, and I will see you next week.